So, good evening, y'all. Welcome to our Wednesday. I was about to say Thursday, our Wednesday lives with Trey and Jay. I am Trey.
Hey, I'm Jay. What's up?
Hi, y'all. Good evening. Shout out to you all for pulling up to our Instagram live today and checking in on us. If you are not following us on Instagram, it is the same thing, which is at Life with Trey and Jay. And of course, as we always say it, as we always start out on this channel, we share our lives to encourage women to love Jesus, love themselves, and love others well. And so today we got a whole heap of things to talk about with y'all. And Janelle is going to get into what we're talking about today, but I just wanted to get into hi, y'all. We
Hey,
haven't
it's
been
been a
on
while.
here in a minute.
Yeah.
Please be sure to get onto our Instagram so you can hear all of the deets about what we have been doing. And Janelle's about to pull up, so take it away.
I mean, like Trey, I want to say hi. It's been literally 3 months that we've been on YouTube, on Instagram, on any of that. And so we're so thankful to be here with y'all. We're excited to get back into all the things. And we know we usually have a discussion, a topic once a month. And so we're excited to talk about September's topic. First of all, can you believe it's September 1st? Like in New York City is officially
it's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of
seriously,
the month.
like at least in New York City, right? It is officially fall. Like I thought this morning I was ODing it to wear jeans and a jacket, a t-shirt and a leather. I was not. It's cold outside. Or maybe it's not cold, but it's significantly different. I think it's like 70 degrees. So anyway, I had to say that because and y'all,
it's a bit breezy.
It's breezy. It's breezy. And I had to run back here from Long Island. So like I'm literally running into my house and I just put some, what's it called? This hand sanitizer on. I normally like scrub my hands, so I'm gonna try not to touch my face. But besides that, I am super excited to be here with y'all.
Yeah.
The topic for today is a topic for the month. It's called Back to Basics. And back to basics. And we thought it was fitting for us to be back after a sabbatical, but also it is important to strengthen your foundation in Christ, right? So it's important.
Our foundation.
Right. So because not only you, it's us as well. And so
Yeah.
we think it's very important to re-examine our foundation and to strengthen it. And so we're going to be talking about different topics like what is the gospel, like the pure basics. Because truly, if you don't know what the gospel is and you don't appreciate and how can I say it? If you don't know what it is and appreciate the gospel, which really is salvation in Jesus Christ, then you're not technically a Christian. But we have so many people out there who believe that they are Christ followers, which means that they're Christian. That's what Christians are, Christ followers, and really aren't. And it's extremely dangerous. So we're going to talk about what the gospel is and what it is not. Yes, it's music, but it's more than that. Like gospel music is music that came out of the appreciation of the gospel. But a lot of people think, hey, when I ask the average person what is the gospel, they will say like music.
But also the thing that we are looking to make sure of as we have this conversation is that it is debunked. So whatever it is that you may assume things to be, that we're actually talking about the things. So we're not just like, oh, what's the gospel? And it's like, but what is it? Like, what does that even mean? Why is it called the gospel? Like, what does that even mean? And what's the importance of even knowing that for yourself, let alone for you to engage with other people around your own faith?
Right.
But
so what it is, like straight up and down what it is and what it is not. Our other topics are what's it called? Churchianity. I love that term because it's not true. Like it's either Christianity, which is the center of like Christ being the center of, not church. And a lot of times we make our lives churchianity and not Christianity, not taking out Christ and putting church in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the average person wants that to be. I think they just kind of fall in line with that. And there's a lot of reasons why: culture, just like tradition. It was passed down from generation to generation. My mama did it, my father did it, my grandmama and them did it. But we are like, listen, y'all, there's nothing wrong with church, but church cannot save you. So I'm excited about that topic.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be really good because as you were, leading up to that, I mean, we can easily assume that, hey, if I go to church every Sunday, then I love Jesus. And it's like you can love Jesus
and go to church.
But what we're talking about is knowing what you believe and being able to believe that within yourself. So like if, for example, someone asks you a question that you are, we all probably get frazzled at some point in time. Like that's normal. But do you know it for yourself? You know what I mean? Like if somebody asks you a question about your faith, you don't necessarily do the homer, the homer, the gift, like you don't do the homer. Like you're like, okay,
homer. I think
yeah. Oh no, the homer. And like, and you're not trying to engage simply because a question is asked of you. And it's like, nah, folks can ask you questions and you can honestly say you don't know. And it's okay to say you don't know. It's a very powerful thing to say you don't know.
Right.
But to get to a place where we're like, yo, this is what I believe and this is what it is. And it's not simply based on the fact that I'm walking into this church building every Sunday. And as you already know, with the pandemic, I'm not sure who's walking into church every single Sunday.
People are
right. But I don't know, this whole time you have not necessarily been. You probably have been for a few weeks now or a few months, whatever, but it hasn't been this whole entire time. So with that being said, does your relationship with Jesus diminish because you're not going to church every Sunday?
Yeah.
Is it no longer sustainable because you are not going into church every single Sunday?
Yeah.
Is it something that you're no longer engaging in because you're not going to church every single Sunday? So that's truly where churchianity comes from, where the church is now the lowercase c church in terms of the local church, like the church that you go to down the street or up the block or wherever. That being your reasoning for developing your relationship with Jesus, as opposed to actually like knowing this is what I believe, regardless of if I'm walking into this church building or not. So
know for yourself.
That's what's up. That's what's up with churchianity. And y'all, I already know, like all the topics is about to hit, but I'm just saying the things is hitting y'all. Okay, go ahead, Janelle. You can finish.
And so we have another topic called "Can We Question God?" We actually have a YouTube video on this channel about that, because that's something that we've thought about, and so we wanted to talk about it. We thought it was very fitting to bring that question into this conversation of back to basics, because a lot of people think they can't question God. A lot of people think they can't get mad at God or like be disappointed with God. And it's like, He really is our Father. And several times in any relationship, including, having a relationship with your father, you get disappointed. You want to question them. You don't got to be rude about it or disrespectful, but you can question, like, what is this? What does this part of the Bible mean? Or why are you saying, this morning I was asking God, why won't you allow me to do this? And I think He is A-okay with it because He likes the conversation and He wants me to connect with Him. Yeah, so we're gonna get into that topic.
We definitely gonna get into that, y'all.
Can there be doubts?
Man, oh man, I don't know what relationship the people getting into in any relationship that you don't have one question about why this is moving the way that this is moving. Like, there's no, I just don't know. Like, What relationship y'all having that y'all not questioning? Lord of mercy.
You
But
can't like have a healthy dialogue.
like a healthy
Yeah.
tension. Like there's a
Right.
there's a healthy tension of, yo, I don't like this. So let's talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is a very real thing. So yeah, that's a topic that we're gonna be talking about.
And
Oh,
then our last topic is, and this is not in order, but like, who is Jesus?
who?
Who is he? Because you know what it is?
You said
People,
who, and I was like, who? That's what I thought about. Who?
isn't that ludicrous?
I don't even know. Who? But yeah,
Girl's crazy. I think it's very important to get to the question of who is Jesus. Why? Because people think that they know who he is. And the reason why people think they know who he is because there's so many portraits and pictures out there of Jesus. Like, let's talk about let's break down just his physical presentation, his physical features to start off with, because there's so many layers to it, right? I don't think we're ever fully gonna know exactly who Jesus is, because like I've known Tracy for how many years and I'm still getting to know her. You know, like I'm still getting to know myself. You know, we're complex individuals, but Jesus is like fully God and fully man. It's like, whoa, how does that work? You know, and a lot of people don't even know that part. Like he's fully God and fully man. He is, he wasn't white with blonde hair and blue eyes. Like, what is the Bible say?
that's a
No,
that's a moment. That's a
no,
moment
there's
because
so many
that's a mind blown.
right. There's so many assumptions about who he is, because
Yeah.
I mean, and it makes sense why it's like that, because if you've been hearing about this one person your whole life, even if you're not a Christian, you could be Muslim, you could be, I don't know, Jewish, you could be anything, you could be Buddhist. You've heard the word, you've heard the name Jesus several times, so you assume that you know who he is. It's kind of like me saying, who doesn't know who Beyonce is? But do I know? I've heard of Beyonce, but do I know Beyonce? I don't know Beyonce. Like, I don't know who I don't. She does not. If I see Beyonce walking down the street, I'm like, hey girl, it's me, Janelle. She gonna be like, same thing with like with Jesus. Like we, you know, there's two different levels to it. I mean, there's more than two different levels. But what I'm saying is, let's talk about who he is, and then let's talk about how to get to know him. So the second part of what I just said is how to get to know him, because you can know the facts about him, and that's great, and I think that's important too, because a lot of us don't have the real facts about who he is. But then there's like, oh, let's get to know him as a person that he is, and there's so much fun and beauty in that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There's so much unpacking that we can actually do. I think there's so much freedom in it, and ultimately, y'all, this whole series for the month is really legitimately, yes, back to basics, but we really want to make sure that we're not coming from our own sabbatical and just diving into a variety of other things without giving foundation. Like, we got to come through with our foundation. I mean, we had a whole topic. We were sold on the whole topic, and then the Lord was like, no, not that. And so we like, it was like sprinkled up. It was like sprinkled down, like, no, that's not what it's going to be. And we're like, oh, okay, so we can move that to another month. But it's really, really extremely important for not just y'all. Like, this is for ourselves too. Like, these things do not just, and I said that in our Instagram live today, these things don't just come out from the abyss. They literally come from our own conversations with the Lord, our own time with the Lord, our time with ourselves, time with one another. And just like, wow, like we need to just really like resuscitate like all of the things, because it's like, what is it that you believe in? Why? And it's a real thing for you to, and it's nothing wrong for you to ever get to a place where you're like, do I believe what I thought I believed?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. So please note that when we're talking about back to basics, it is coming from the affirmative of, yo, it's totally okay to just want to reiterate and refresh yourself on what it is that you believe and why you believe that, and why you're so.
It's called deconstructing your faith. Like, let's break it apart and see and examine it and see what it really is. You know, I want to, in the last 15 minutes, I actually want to talk about what what was the catalyst of this conversation. So one morning, which is so funny, and I'm not trying to do this a lot, but I've done it before, but for some reason I haven't done it a lot. And that morning I did it like 3 weeks ago. I got up and I saw that my phone had a notification. It's those doggone red dots, yo. Those red dots. So it wasn't even like I didn't even think about it. I went to Twitter like 6 a.m. when I first woke up, and the first thing I saw was this guy. This is no shade, no condemnation to him. We're just talking about the facts, right? So we saw this. I saw this guy named Joe Solomon. That I've been following him since 2000, maybe 12. It's been a while, almost 10 years, on his YouTube page, Instagram, Twitter, all these things, right? And he is what you call a Christian influencer. He's a poet, a author. No, I don't think he's an author, but he's a poet. He's a writer, a speaker, very creative, cool dude. And he's always proclaimed the name of Jesus. But that day, he said something along the lines of, can I put the toothpaste back in the tube? He's like, I have become fairly popular by being a Christian artist. And I'm pretty much here to say that, excuse me, that I'm no longer, thank you. Like I no longer believe that faith or something along those lines. I have to get the exact words because I don't want to, mess up the man's words. And I thought it was just very interesting. Very, very interesting to me, because I'm like, okay, how did you go this whole time believing that this is what you believe and then now you don't? So it made me think, Janelle, do you believe what you believe? Like, do you know what you believe? Like it really made me think, and then it made me think about the hundreds and maybe thousands of millions of people who, well, I think it's millions, who around the world who proclaim the name of Jesus but don't really know him, who say that they're Christian, but like there was several times I said I was a Christian. Like, if you have to check a box, like if you're saying I'm Black, check I'm a woman, yeah. I was born in blah, 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 blah. I'm from New York and I'm a Christian. Like there's just these basic things that you say, but like, did I really believe that Jesus was Lord, or did I really live by what he wanted me to? Did I follow him? That was a question of mine back then. Now I can say I'm not perfect, nowhere close to being perfect. You can ask anybody that I know, anybody who knows me, but I actually do really do love Jesus, and I don't want to ever not be in relationship with him. But seeing Joe, reading what Joe posted and listening to his podcast, it just really made me think there's so many people who are in the same position as him. And I have lots of respect that he would even say it, because especially someone in his position who's on stages and podcasts, and people are buying tickets to go to see him talk about Jesus. And he's been in a very popular tour, this poetry tour called the PIA tour, and all these things. I can go on and say, yeah, I don't believe in Jesus anymore, and people will be like, but he had a whole nother platform, that I don't have. And I just think it was very bold of him to say that, and honest for him to say that. But I just want to know why he said that, and let's talk about what we really believe. So that's why we're here. That's one of the reasons why we're here.
I think one of the amazing things about that, him having this conversation and even talking about this, is the fact that it is causing other people to have these conversations. And I think that's the most powerful thing. I personally am I've been watching Chase God TV for a minute, a few years.
That's his YouTube page.
And that's his YouTube page. And I've always loved it. And it's always been really good for me to add context to what it is that I'm reading and what it is that I'm learning and stuff like that. And he is great. He's it just made sense. You know what I mean? When it was giving what it needed to give. So there's that, but then also, being able to say something like that is so powerful. And I am not saying that um as a, oh, it's so powerful. I'm literally saying it's mad powerful because of the fact that what it's doing is it's putting information out there. You do with it as you may. And what we're doing with it is asking our own selves, and you all as well, what is it that we believe? Period. Like, what is it that we believe? Why is it that we believe it? And let's get into that conversation. This has nothing to do with agree or disagree or what so have you.
Yeah,
It's
right or wrong.
not,
It's
it's
not
right or wrong. It's none of that. It's literally, let's have the conversation. You started out, there was a conversation started about, yo, I don't necessarily believe these things. How do we get to the place where we don't believe what we assumed we believed at one point in time, and why, and what does that mean? And how powerful of a statement it is, and how proud I am of him for being able to say that, especially just knowing that whatever words come out your mouth as people, someone else is going to take that at face value and as facts and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm really just excited with how we were able to hear something that I feel like as we talked about it, I've heard quite a few comments about it that for me have been disheartening, because I'm just like, ew. I don't like the way, some people I just can't. But anyway,
Some people can be very harsh, and a lot of times,
yeah, I don't even find that to be harsh. I find that to be quite presumptive as well as disrespectful.
I was gonna say, but also a lot of people can be, they can point fingers a lot of times, and
yeah,
unfortunately a lot of them carry the title of Christian. And the reason why I say they carry the title of Christian, because I question sometimes the long-term actions of people if they really have a relationship with Jesus. And so, or because when you have a relationship with Jesus, Jesus will be telling you about yourself.
if you listen.
If you're listening and you're open to it. Now, you can say and believe that Jesus is Lord and not let him do the work in you. That's two different things. But those who say they have an active relationship with God, with Jesus, I don't know, how do you stay like that? And that's
How do you stay nasty?
Yeah, how do you stay
rude
for your entire life? You're a Christian for 25 years and you still act like you're 5 years old and in your faith. So that's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
we
we're here. We
really
want to strengthen our foundation, and we want to improve ourselves. We want to cling back onto what we know, which is, not what we know, but we want to cling and dig our heels into the fact that Jesus is Lord. Like the real deal. Let's get rid of, or let's not get rid of, but let's clear away the stuff that can distract us, and focus on what is the core of why we're here. YouTube is nice, but these videos can't save you, like church is great, but church can't save you. The Bible is what's up. The Bible can help you get to know God, but it is not the book itself. You can know the Bible inside and out.
You could read. You could quote
right.
the scriptures.
You could know it back to
front. The scriptures one time for your mind, easy.
But
you could say all the Father gods and hallelujahs.
Yeah, and still not have a relationship with Jesus.
And how? Because that don't even sound like it makes sense. But
it happens.
It does. It does. But that's the reason why we want to have this conversation, because it's not about the music that's going to make you closer to building your having your relationship or any of those things. It's literally getting into the meat and potatoes, and I would say the leaves too, because I don't eat the meats, y'all. But
I was like the leaf. I'm confused. You would say
but
which is the root.
yeah, the root. There we go, the root. Let's get to the root of the things, because I mean
The seeds.
it's really the seeds.
The
It's really
seed is
it's yeah,
right. It's the
it's
core.
really unfortunate that one, I mean, it's just really unfortunate that depending on what is going on in your life in whatever capacity, that you know um you just are like, okay, well, I no longer believe the things that I believe. And it's like, yo, things is heavy. Life is hard. Life is not easy. Life is difficult. Life is filled with challenge. Um,
Yeah.
but to be able to trust that you can express yourself in full to the Lord is wild freeing. But if you don't believe that, then you don't see it as that. So I think it's
That's
really important for us
unfortunate. Yeah.
to like really unpack all the things. And I really hope you stay tuned. We're gonna be here every Wednesday, pulling up at 8 o'clock on this YouTube live. Share with your friends, with your sneaky links. Hilarious. But yes, I really be cracking myself up. But anyway,
He really does.
share it with all the people them, because yeah, this is definitely a great conversation, and we will be having some awesome guests to talk about this. We are out here just talking about how we got to back to basics, and that was the purpose of this conversation, for us to give you a little preview. And then next week and the week after and the week after that and the week after that, for every Wednesday at 8 o'clock on YouTube Live, we will have a guest who will pop out with us based on the conversation and the topic for that week. So please be sure to follow us on Instagram, which is at Life with Trey and Jay. That's TRAYANDJEA. Yeah, we had literally we got a lot in store for you all, and we're really excited. So looking forward to it. And I'll wrap that up. Janelle, do you have anything else you want to say before we close this out?
Well, I just want to say thanks for joining us. I'm always excited to connect with you all, and so, like Trey said, share, like, subscribe. We see you guys next Wednesday at
All
9.
right, y'all. So
Yes.
yes, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. And as you already know, on this channel, we share our lives to encourage women to love Jesus, love themselves, and love others well. So have a good night, y'all.
So we enjoy having men on here too. There's a few guys.
Listen, our guests are men. Like we have men.
True.
We have men up on here. Like, don't even do that. But
yeah, you guys in the chat too right now. So anyway,
but the heart of Life with Trey and Jay is yes, we talk to the women then. But yeah, of course, we definitely engage with the men's and in the comments and in all the conversation. But please note that that's what we do on this channel. We share our lives to encourage you all to love Jesus, love yourself, and love others well. And we will see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Pull up on our Instagram at Life with Trey and Jay, TRAYANDAJEA. What did I say? Yes, TRAYANDJEA. Yep, there you go. All right, y'all. Good night.
Later.